This episode of Gadget was sponsored by Adobe Systems, Gateway, JessStan.org, and the Jesuit Conference. Hey, this is Father Robert from Gadget at thetechstop.net. It's the place where it's always time to get your geek on. We are at the end of our CES coverage, or at least the end of our time in Henderson, Nevada. We've been hanging out in this house now for a good 10 days, getting ready for the show, and then doing the show, and now cleaning up and getting ready to go our separate ways. I received a few emails from people who were interested in what it takes to produce a CES, and I think it's actually a really good question before we tear it down to let you know what we have to do on our end to make everything that you see on YouTube and on iTunes and our RSS feed. It, of course, starts with the people. I mean, there's me, there's the person you see most often, but there's people like Ryan Balliser and Michael Birschbach who have stood behind the camera, occasionally popping in front of it to help with production. We've got people like Melanie Balliser, Mitch Malilai, and Marty Krepfel who have gone out through the show floor, who have talked to people, who have written stories so that we know what's cool on the show floor. Now, beyond the people, there's quite a bit of hardware that, of course, has to start with the two cameras that we've been using. You've seen the two shots that we've had all throughout the CES coverage. The first is a Panasonic, I believe it's an AGV something X200. It's the one I'm shooting on right now. It's a fantastic workhorse of a camera. It's traveled around the world, 1080p, 60 frames a second, AVC HD. It's beautiful, it's light, and more than that, it really gives us the quality that we need as a primary shooter. Now, the secondary camera has been this one. We've got a couple of these. These are Canon Vixia HFM 300s. Now, we like them just because they've got an audio in, unlike a lot of the other smaller cameras, and the quality isn't that bad for such a miniature camera. It's almost like a flip. It's given us the multiple angles that really help us to keep things from becoming kind of stale. Also, we've got wireless microphones. Now, there are a lot of people who use only wired mics because, well, CES at any convention center is going to be a wireless cacophony of noise. But we've had really good luck with our Sennheiser EW100 2 series. We've got a pair of those that we use for sound, and for the most part, except for a couple of foibles with switches, because, we're not professionals at this, it's worked out pretty well. Now, once we film, once we get all that done, we come back to this house and we dump it into the setup that you see behind me, which is actually pretty cool because this all has to get packed up, so we don't have the really powerful desktops that we normally do when we're filming in DC. We've got a EC14 series, which is the laptop that I use whenever I needed to shuttle content over to the Las Vegas Convention Center because their connection is much faster. We've also got two laptops. We've got an Acer 7000 series, which handles all the heavy lifting. It's got 3 monitors hooked up to it where I can do my video editing and then start the render queue, which goes over to this, which is the Gateway NV59 series laptop that we reviewed a few weeks back. It does nothing but handle the render queue. The reason why we have these two laptops is because if we try to edit 1080p AVC HD video 10, 15 episodes a day, we just wouldn't be able to do it on a single laptop or a single desktop. This is a pretty good system, and I have to thank Acer and Gateway for hooking us up. Also, we've had help from a vendor that has been on the show quite a few times, Ergotron, and JessStan.org. They sent us a few of these lift stands so that we could actually position our laptops. This is on an Ergotron product. These are mounted on Ergotron. It helps us to cluster the computers around the people who are working. It's actually a fantastic way to increase your productivity. And you know what? When you're on such a limited sleep schedule as CES, you need to increase your productivity. Now, all of this is great, but it wouldn't do anything if it weren't for the software. And for that, I have two companies that I use. I have Camtasia TechSmith, who provides all our screen capture technology, and Adobe. Adobe Systems has been absolutely wonderful. They're peaches. They're princes for giving us their master suite, which includes Adobe Premiere Pro CS5, which is our editing software of choice. It's what we have on all our laptops. It's the primary editing suite that we use, and it works fantastically. Ultimately, all of this is cool and all of this is fun, and the reason why we do this is because we do like technology, and I do like doing production, and I do like getting videos out there and having those deadlines and having that creative process, but we do it because of you, and I have to thank each and every single one of you for coming back time and time again. This is an amateur production. We make no illusions about being one of the big boys, but it's fun because of your comments, and it's fun because you keep coming back, and for that, I thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking. Now, stay tuned because this year, it's not just CES. I am trying to get back into the gadget schedule, and we've got a ton of vendors from the show who are sending their gear to us, and we're going to try our very best to get it out to you in a timely fashion. So keep coming back to our YouTube channel, keep coming back to thetechstop.net, keep coming back to our Facebook page, and keep coming back to our RSS and iTunes feeds, because we're going to bring you the tech that geeks want. I'm Father Robert, and remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.